To our top story that remains to define the news agenda, farmers are on the warpath as they continue their protests over recently passed farm laws. Home Minister Amit Shah has appealed to the farmers to cooperate with the centre. Shah assured that the centre is ready to hold talks. The Home Minister also requested the farmers to discuss their plea with the Agriculture Minister on 3rd December. He also appealed to the farmers to shift to the designated place which has been allotted by the Delhi police to stage their protests. Meanwhile, Punjab Chief Minister urged the farmers to reciprocate to Amit Shah's request by accepting his appeal to shift to a designated place to pave way for the early talks. Farmer union leaders are going to be holding a meeting at 9 a.m. today. It's going to be a crucial one. We'll get you all the updates. All of this is to discuss the Home Minister's appeal. Meanwhile, you've got farmers who were refused from entering Delhi and have been halted at various border points. Few farmer groups are halted at the Singhu border and another group is put up at West Delhi's Tikri border. Clashes have also erupted at Delhi's Ghazipur border where there was a face-off between farmers and the Delhi police.
इस सरकार को बड़ा दिल दिखाना चाहिए। ऐसी कंडीशन नहीं लगानी चाहिए कि पहले किसान वहाँ जाएं फिर हम उनसे बात करेंगे। ये एक तरह का सरकार का ये बात निकल कर आती है कि सरकार का रवैया किसानों के प्रति 100% नहीं है। सरकार किसानों के मामले के हल के लिए शायद तैयार नहीं है। अगर सरकार ये कहती है कि किसान हमारे पास आए, इतनी दूर से चलकर आए हैं, हम इनकी बात सुनने के लिए तैयार हैं। अगर हमारी बात सुनती है और उसके बाद यही अपील सरकार उसके बाद करती है तो मेरा ख्याल है किसान इतने मूर्ख नहीं है, जिद ना करते वो चले जाने के लिए तैयार हो जाते।
अगर कोई आपके निर्णय से नाराज है, दुखी है, क्रोधित है, तो शर्तें रखने वाले आप कौन होते हैं? मुझे बड़ा अचंभा हुआ जब मैंने देखा गृह मंत्री इस दंभ के साथ आकर और शर्तें रख रहे हैं उन किसानों के सामने जिनको आपने तबाह करने में कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ी। तबाह भी आप करें, शर्तें भी आप रखें, ये कहां के कानून?
मैं देश के किसानों के साथ साथ विशेष तौर से अपने उत्तर प्रदेश के किसान भाइयों से अपील करूंगा कि वह कांग्रेस के चक्कर में गुमराह ना हो और जो भाजपा विरोधी, कांग्रेस विरोधी राजनीतिक दल है जिन्होंने कभी किसानों का फायदा सोचा ही नहीं है, वह आज ये सोच रहे हैं कि हम किसानों को मोदी सरकार के खिलाफ भड़काएंगे। या समझ लीजिए कि वो किसानों के हितैषी नहीं, किसानों के दुश्मन हैं और आप इनके चक्कर में गुमराह ना हो और सभी किसान भाई घर वापस जाएं और किसानों का हित मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में सुरक्षित है। आपकी आमदनी भी बढ़ेगी, आपका जीवन स्तर भी सुधरेगा।
Barricades broken. Slogans hurled. Yet another day of farmers' protest over the centre's recently passed farm laws. Home Minister Amit Shah stepping in, appealing to the farmers to cooperate.
वो सभी को मैं अपील करना चाहता हूं कि भारत सरकार आपसे चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार ही है। 3 दिसंबर को कृषि मंत्री जी ने आपको निमंत्रण पत्र भेजा है चर्चा के लिए।
A sentiment echoed by the Agriculture Minister.
भारत सरकार नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में किसानों के हितों के प्रति पूरी तरह प्रतिबद्ध है, आने वाले कल में भी रहेगी।
But tensions continue to run high at the Singhu border in Delhi. Agitating farmers set tires on fire at the border.
यहीं पर किसान डटे हुए, हालांकि दिल्ली पुलिस ने इनको बाकायदा जो बुराड़ी का ग्राउंड है वो मुहैया करवाया हुआ है कि वहां पर जाए, धरना प्रदर्शन करें। काफी किसान हैं वो वहां पहुंच भी चुके हैं, लेकिन ज्यादातर जो पंजाब से किसान हैं वो यहीं पर डटे हुए।
Home Minister also requested the farmers to shift to the ground assigned to them by Delhi police.
मेरा आप सभी को ये आश्वासन है कि जैसे ही आप लोग इसमें शिफ्ट हो जाते हैं, एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड जगह पे अपने आंदोलन को शिफ्ट करते हैं और वहां पर आप अच्छी तरीके से सेट हो जाते हैं, दूसरे ही दिन भारत सरकार आपके साथ आपकी समस्या और मांगों के लिए बातचीत करने के लिए तैयार है।
Farmers refused to enter Delhi despite police's permission to protest at Buradi. The protesters, though, want Jantar Mantar or Ramleela ground as their stir site. They continue to remain at the Singhu border as they plan their next strategy.
काले कानून पास किए हैं, जितना चिर वहाँ पर वो तिन्ने बिलों को रद्द नहीं किए जाते, मोदी सरकार खत्म नहीं करती उनको, उतना चर वहाँ पर ही हम रुकेंगे और धरना प्रदर्शन करेंगे दिल्ली में।
But amid the face-off, there were moments of humanity from Singhu border.
दिल्ली पुलिस की तरफ से जी
नहीं सर, ये आए वहाँ से गुरुद्वारे की तरफ से आए, लेकिन हमें जो हमारे अफसरों ने दे दिया कि इनके साथ जाओ और आगे बटवा के आना।
To Jeend in Haryana, where farmers repaired the road which was dug up by police to block their protest march and stop them from crossing the border.
ऐसी गाड़ियां जो जानी थी, जिनको बहुत ज़्यादा जोरे यहाँ से निकलना था, उनके लिए भी बड़ी दिक्कतें देखी, लेकिन अच्छा हुआ कि कुछ समय बाद ये रोड वापस किसानों ने मिलजुल के रिपेयर कर दिए।
But the situation remains tense at the Delhi-Ghazipur border, where farmers climbed over barricades and faced off with the police. The protests show no sign of ending, and neither does the political blame game.
ये आंदोलन पंजाब के किसानों की ओर से खड़ा किया गया है, और वो भी किसानों की बजाय वहाँ से कुछ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का जो स्पॉन्सर्ड है, कुछ संस्थाओं का स्पॉन्सर्ड है, कुछ इस प्रकार के अनवांटेड एलिमेंट्स ये इस भीड़ के अंदर आए हुए हैं, और हमारे पास रिपोर्ट्स जो हैं, अब इसका खुलासा अभी करना ठीक नहीं है।
पुलिस की वहाँ बदसलूकी के कारण जो हुआ, नहीं तो पंजाब के किसान 2 महीने से यहाँ पीसफुल प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं। ये वही किसान है जिसने मेहनत करके सारे हिंदुस्तान का पेट भरा था, आज उनको शर्म आनी चाहिए थे, इनको आतंकवादी बोलते हैं।
The deal breaker for farmers is the lack of clarity on minimum support price. While the Narendra Modi government is assuring MSP will continue, the farmers fear the new laws spell death knell for the tried and tested MSP system. Bureau Report, India Today.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah is all set to visit Hyderabad today on the final day of campaigning ahead of the 1st December civic body polls. After UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Shah would become the flag bearer of BJP's campaign trail in the city of Nawabs. He's going to begin his tour by offering prayers at Sri Bhagyalakshmi Temple, which is right adjacent to the iconic Charminar, followed by a roadshow and a press conference in Secunderabad area. While on Friday, BJP President JP Nadda visited the city for Saffron Party's Strength Show. The city witnessed rallies of several top leaders as the BJP has set out all big guns for campaigning in Hyderabad. And amidst the battle over the civic polls in Hyderabad, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath stirred a fresh political row through his contentious comments over changing Hyderabad's name to Bhagyanagar, leading to a bitter war of words with the AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi, who lashed out at the BJP, accusing it of playing communal politics. Launching a scathing attack on Yogi Adityanath, Asaduddin Owaisi added that the BJP's goal was restricted to changing the city's name, while he questioned the Saffron Party on how many tickets have they got or given to the Muslim candidates. This is coming in as the UP CM promised a makeover for Hyderabad during his visit yesterday, starting from its name being changed to Bhagyanagar.
उत्तर प्रदेश में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार आई, हमने फैजाबाद को अयोध्या कर दिया, तो फिर इसका वास्तविक नाम भाग्यनगर क्यों नहीं हो सकता?
तुम्हारा मकसद एक ही है, हैदराबाद का नाम बदल दो, हैदराबाद में मजलिस को कमजोर कर दो। मजलिस की दुश्मनी में ये बल्दिया के इंतखाबात बीजेपी लड़ रही है। मैंने पार्लियामेंट में अल्लाह के नाम लेकर हमारे मुल्क की आईन पर हल्फ लिया। आज उस रुकने पार्लियामेंट को बीजेपी कहती है कि जिना है।
Temperature is soaring in Hyderabad ahead of its civic polls on December 1. The civic polls have reached fever pitch, with top brass of the BJP taking the electoral battle to Owaisi's citadel. On Saturday, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath visited Hyderabad and held a massive roadshow in Malkajgiri area, followed by a public meeting with locals. The UP CM was welcomed with a flower shower.
Yogi Adityanath is in Hyderabad and the Bharatiya Janata Party has pulled out all stops to ensure that he captures the heart and mind of the voters here. Though it is for the municipal election, this is a roadshow of Yogi Adityanath which is taking place right now. And just look at the enthusiasm and the kind of election machinery which has been deployed by the BJP.
Yogi promised a makeover for Hyderabad, starting with its name.
यहाँ पर एक परिवार और उनकी मित्र मंडली को लूट खसोट की और छूट देने के लिए यहाँ पर एक फिर से उन्हें फ्रीडम देना चाहते हैं या फिर हैदराबाद को भाग्यनगर बना करके फिर से विकास की नई उपलब्धियों में पहुंचाना है।
On Friday, BJP President JP Nadda was the flag bearer of Saffron Party's campaign trail. And next in line to visit the city of Nawabs is Home Minister Amit Shah. He will visit Bhagyalakshmi Temple adjacent to Charminar and address a press conference on Sunday. Other big faces like Devendra Fadnavis and Smriti Irani, among others, have already visited the city. BJP is leaving no stone unturned, much to the surprise of its opponents.
I've been asking people as to who the local party here is, and it is us, the Telangana Rashtra Samiti, which is most certainly the local party. And so I've been appealing to the people that the Gully party, the local party here, should be chosen over the Delhi party, which is, of course, the BJP and the Congress, of course.
हैदराबाद के पुराने शहर को कहती हैं कि यहाँ पर पाकिस्तानी है, रोहिंग्या है, अफगानी है और हम सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक करेंगे। अगर बीजेपी पुराने शहर में सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक करेगी तो 1 तारीख के दिन पूरा हैदराबाद इंशाअल्लाह ताला मिलकर बीजेपी के ऊपर एक डेमोक्रेटिक स्ट्राइक करेगा।
Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation election has turned into a full-on battle where BJP has deployed battery of its star campaigners. The way party is canvassing and campaigning in this election, it clearly shows that BJP is not only targeting Hyderabad but also eyeing to capture power in 2023 assembly polls in the state. With camera person Damodar, Ashish in Hyderabad for India.
All right, let's get you a sense of the COVID numbers now. The active cases in India, let's flashing across your screens at the moment on 28th of November. The total number of active cases in India on your screens at the moment, 4,54,940. That is the grim reality that India is facing at the moment. Let's get you a sense of what the deaths in the country are looking like as of 28th of November. 1,36,200. In terms of recoveries in India, it's been quite a stellar figure as well as of 28th of November. Let's get you what the recoveries look like. 7,59,969 people have recovered from coronavirus. India's COVID crisis, that was an encapsulation of the active cases, the recoveries and the deaths. So let's get you those data till 28th of November. These are the encapsulation of what the COVID figures really look like. Amidst the rising cases in the national capital, you've got Anil Baijal, who has approved the Delhi government's request to allow only 50% workforce in government offices. This is coming in as Delhi Disaster Management Authority, headed by Governor Anil Baijal, has decided to reduce the number of government employees attending the office due to massive surge in COVID cases in the national capital. The order is not applicable on the officials above grade 1. The DDMA further has advised private offices as well as to stagger the timings and presence of the staff. Delhi on Saturday has reported 4,998 new cases and 89 deaths. The Prime Minister undertook a 3-city tour to get a first-hand perspective from the scientists and the developers of COVID vaccine. The Prime Minister is leading India's battle against corona vaccine, and the visits were aimed at understanding the various challenges and the roadmap in India's endeavour to vaccinate its citizens. India Today tracked Prime Minister's visit across 3 cities in the country. Here's a complete report.
वैक्सीन को लेकर भारत के पास जैसा अनुभव है वो दुनिया के बड़े बड़े देशों को भी नहीं है। भारत जो भी वैक्सीन अपने नागरिकों को देगा वो हर वैज्ञानिक कसौटी पर खरी होगी।
It's the biggest health crisis of our time. The entire world is combating an invisible enemy. While the world races to find a vaccine, India too is among the front-runners. Prime Minister Narendra Modi undertook a whirlwind 3-city tour on Saturday to take stock of the developments at 3 vaccine hubs. The Prime Minister's first pit stop was at Ahmedabad, where he headed straight to the pharma major Zydus Cadila's manufacturing facility. Wearing a PPE kit, the Prime Minister reviewed the development of the indigenous DNA-based vaccine. The Prime Minister listened intently as the scientists explained the finer details of the vaccine, which has already completed the second phase of clinical trials.
India's journey in the Atmanirbhar Bharat, the scientists, 1,800 of them, and 25,000 plus Zydans are continuously thriving and working for providing safe and efficacious vaccine.
After Ahmedabad, Prime Minister Modi's next stop was the Bharat Biotech plant in Hyderabad. The company is working on Covaxin, pitched as India's first indigenous vaccine candidate. The 3-phase human trial of Covaxin began at AIIMS in New Delhi on Thursday.
Covaxin is first indigenous vaccine against coronavirus, and if we believe Bharat Biotech, the manufacturer, the developer of this vaccine, Bharat Biotech believe that by next year, second quarter, this vaccine will be available.
The Prime Minister's last stop was Pune when he visited the Serum Institute and interacted with scientists and senior management there.
Serum Institute is a pioneer institute as far as vaccinology is concerned in India, and they have got extensive stock of this vaccine as of now. Now with this particular background, that huge stock is already available, so as soon as they get the permission to go further, they will be able to supply this vaccine for India and for some other countries also.
Centre is actively drawing up plans for the distribution of the much sought after COVID-19 vaccine once it is available. And the Prime Minister is himself leading the battle from the front. With Ashish in Hyderabad, this is Pankaj Upadhyay in Pune with camera person Mahesh More reporting for India Today.
As the Mahaghadi Sarkar completes 1 year, Maharashtra Minister Aditya Thackeray spoke exclusively to a consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai and said his government will last its full term. Listen in to a slice of that exclusive conversation.
BJP says it's a family that will break very soon. We just heard last week Devendra Fadnavis and Rao Sahib Danve, the minister suggesting of the BJP, suggesting that this government won't last for more than 2 to 3 months. There's constant speculation. Will the Shiv Sena split? Will the Congress split? Will the NCP split? Are these all rumors? I mean, how comfortable is the government? Is it easy to run a government when every week we are hearing these rumors, speculation? Will the alliance last or not?
I think when the BJP makes statements like that, in a day full of work in terms of COVID work and everything, these are some of the lighter moments we all enjoy together and laugh at these statements, because breaking families, breaking communities, societies, breaking the nation, that is the job of the BJP right now. And a desperate opposition is even getting more desperate each passing day. So we just laugh at it, have a lighter moment and move on. That's it. That's what we
It's interesting. It's interesting the way you're putting it. It's interesting the way you're putting it, because the BJP was your ally till a year. It seems at the moment though the BJP versus Shiv Sena has become a real battle. I mean, they seem to be in a way targeting you almost every day.
They have been wanting to do that because the way I see it is when you're playing football, you have either Messi or Ronaldo trying to score a goal and you have 4 or 5 people just marking him. So it's man-to-man marking, and that's the job of the opposition, and let them do that. We'll keep scoring our goals, keep working for the people. And like I said, it's genuinely a time for laugh when they make statements like that, because honestly, once elections are over, once a government has been formed, I think a responsible opposition, especially in a time of pandemic, would really get down to working with the government. And of course, you should point out the flaws, you should point out the chinks in the armor, but then assist us to do better work, because finally the people look up to all of us together to work for them. We're all public representatives. So I don't think when, largely on a national front, the party speaks about one nation and one election, the state unit really starts speaking of a local election and, trying to disrupt things in a state, especially during a time of pandemic. I don't think anywhere across the world has a state unit or a city unit tried to disrupt such things and play politics during a pandemic like this.
So are you telling me that the government will last 5 years?
Absolutely, and many more, because the unity, the bonding that we found, the trust factor that we found, and the mutual respect that each of us have. There's no thing like cutting into each other's parties or credit wars or anything like that. We are working together as a unit, and that's how we're going ahead.
Team India has no scope of any further slip-up, as another loss is going to hand them their second successive ODI series loss. Bowlers will have to come up with a much better performance if India is to level the series, but there are other challenges, especially against the very formidable Australian team at home. Here's a look.
It's now or never for Team India.
Hazelwood has 3.
After a horror show in the opening ODI at the SCG, India will look to avoid a series loss. Australia, on the other hand, will look to seal the deal with an unassailable 2-0 lead.
And he picks it up beautifully.
The Indian bowling fell flat as the Aussies posted a mammoth 374 for 6 and batted the men in blue out of the game. Skipper Virat Kohli was short on options and had to stick with his frontline bowlers.
Well, we'll have to find out ways of getting, a few overs from a few part-timers that we have in the side. Unfortunately, someone like Hardik is not ready to bowl at the moment, so we'll have to accept that and we'll have to work around it. And we don't really have any, all-rounding options as such right now to select from as well. So that's an area we've always looked at, which is obviously a very big part of any team's balance. Someone like Marcus for Australia and Glenn bowling a few overs also really helps. So I think that the thing is that we need to put 5 quality bowlers on the park, and the key to winning games of cricket is picking up wickets, and that's something that we were not able to do.
In the batting department, the Indians could not cope with the short stuff and will hope for a better outing in the second ODI. All eyes will be on Virat Kohli, who played an uncharacteristic inning in the series opener and was dismissed cheaply for 21. Hardik Pandya justified his selection as a pure batsman with a gutsy 90 and will look to continue the good work. The men in blue have lost their last 4 ODI games, and another loss will hand them back-to-back series defeats. Sports Bureau, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.